we start by greeting you Anangu, which is Palya. Palya is a profound word that means many different things, from okay, good, are you okay, to hello. We invite you to share in this greeting with us by saying Palya. So just spend a moment yourself saying that word, Palya, Palya, Palya. Now let's imagine we're meeting for the first time today. So Thomas and I are going to greet you Anangu, and again we invite you to greet us back. Palya. Thank you. Now that we've created that little sense of connection, we want to continue that, and we have some questions we want to ask you. And you have 3 choices with your response. If it's yes, we're going to ask you to say uwa. Want to practice that one? Uwa. If it's no, wia. And if it's I don't know, wampa. Okay, first question. Are you enjoying the conference so far? Uwa. Excellent. Is anyone feeling bored? We are. Good. Okay. And the last question we have, would you like to come on a journey with us for the next 15 minutes, going through the desert lands, hearing stories as we go? Wow. Fantastic. Thank you. We begin by sharing a little bit about ourselves. My name is Vanessa, or Yarachi, when I work on the lands. I do work for My Matters, which is the National Mental Health and Wellbeing Initiative for secondary school communities. I have a loving and supporting husband, and I have 2 earth angels, Sage Rose and Soul. My story today is based on gratitude for the experience and the learnings I have gained from working with Anangu peoples of this country, and to celebrate the strengths and profound wisdom of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples of this nation.
My name's, thank you, Vanessa. My name's Thomas Hampton, and I was born in Carnarvon, Western Australia. My mother is a Yamaji woman of the Nunda tribe in Midwest region of Western Australia. My father is Yankunytjatjara, who passed in 2008. I'm a proud father of Jaima, whose 4th birthday is today, who speaks Pidginjara, Yankunytjatjara, Lurija and Aranda, and also understands English. As a young fellow, I came back to the desert with my father, where I went through Anangu culture and law in Mimli. I was always a traveller through all of our country and found myself staying in Murayulu community next to Uluru as rock. Anangu culture and law is very strong and practiced. For me, family, country, and helping people is my priority. This is a little bit about me, but what I want to share today is my journey with Vanessa Yarachi in Mind Matters. The stories we bring are based on ngaparji, together, or jungwanani. It's moving forward together. So, and as you can see, the first one, it says, where are we now? Where are we going in the future? And how will we move forward?
Thank you. I'm going to start this journey by coming over to the stairs and bringing you into how this journey started for me. So, in My Matters, I was responsible for delivering training with school communities around South Australia, and in 2004 I got a phone call from the principal of Indalkona Anangu School, and he would like the My Matters 2-day introductory training out in his school. So the first thing in my head is, where is Indalkona Anangu School? And then I realised it was in the APY lands, and I started to do my little bit of research and thought, this is going to be very challenging. One, I've never worked with Aboriginal communities before, but 2, my gut instinct was telling me that I could come up with some language barriers and some cultural stuff. So I spoke further with the principal about what was he hoping to achieve by bringing My Matters out in the community. And the answer was really simple. He wanted to strengthen the relationship between the school staff and the community in enhancing or strengthening children's wellbeing. So that took us on a new journey. So we talked about what I would normally bring forward to deliver was not going to work. So we actually created a whole new approach to introducing My Matters into the community. And it started by me asking questions about what do I need to know as I'm stepping into community. What are those cultural sensitivities? Who are the people in which I need to connect with and talk with about why I'm here and what they would like to achieve through this Learning Circle forum. I stepped into Indulkana Anangu School and it was overwhelming. Besides the deep red earth, visually what I saw was a little bit concerning for me because I hadn't experienced before. The homes, the state of some of the living conditions, the amount of dogs running around everywhere. But we ended up in their performing arts theatre, and it was a shed. And they were so proud of this shed as their performing arts theatre. And I remember we were engaging in these conversations and community were drawing pictures to articulate their understandings of wellbeing. Teachers were listening. It was this really interactive journey. And then all of a sudden this camel waltzed into the shed. And I was the only one that sort of stood back and looked absolutely horrified, and everyone just saw it as part of the norm. So I learnt a lot that day, but I also connected with a lot of women. And talking with them, I asked them, how do you want to take this forward? And they said, Balia, My Matters, Karawiru, very important, but for us to lead. You help us, but for us to lead. So that's what we did. And then word came from Freegon calling and saying, we heard about that learning circle, we want it over there, so off we go. But instead this time just being me, I had 7 women, 7 Anangu women with me, came into Freegon to run a learning circle. And the interesting thing was, I could step back. And these women stepped forward, and they ran that whole 2 days. And then what happened is I got a request from Ernabella. The director of the Pirinjari and Kanjari Education Council said, I want to meet this woman. So we went over there, and I met Katrina Jidai, and she was talking about wellbeing from her heart. And I asked one question, have you been doing any wellbeing work? And she went to the shelf and pulled out this folder. She'd been working on all this material in language, but never been used. So it started us on a whole new journey of going, right, this is where we're going to start. We're going to start with your knowledge base, your strengths, your culture, and we're going to, through that, thread Mind Matters. And that's how we've worked. Through that, we've developed workshops, we've developed resources, processes, ways of taking this forward. Then in 2010, I got another call, but this time, it came from across the border, the Northern Territory side. So off I go. And this time it came from the Uluru Kata traditional owners. They had made a commitment to invest their rent monies into My Matters, Kulinja Palunja Palya, better way of thinking and acting, over 3 years. First time they've ever done it with their rent money. And so middle of last year our journey began at Nangundrawa College, which has 3 sites across communities, one in Docker River, Murujulu, Mampa. And again, we had a learning circle forum based on wellbeing, talking about it, talking about their aspirations as staff and Anangu education workers. And it was through that process that I connected with Thomas. And so I'm going to finish my story sharing here for now, and Thomas is going to take you on more of the journey.
So like Vanessa was saying, when she got to Murujulu, I was sitting down with my brothers, walked into the room when they was doing the activities and stuff, and I was sitting down with my brothers and watching how they were connecting with Mind Matters activities and discussions. I was feeling shame, because I wasn't there at the first day of the learning circle. and also didn't want to share my knowledge. It was their time to speak, so I sat back and just been quiet. Throughout the day, me and my brothers would talk about this one here, really would work. We could see how it would work with our people. After I talked with my brothers, I finally spoke up. This led to talking with Vanessa. After after the learning circle, I spoke to the teacher about wanting to run a couple of activities to see how the students would react. This one was the first actual activity that I just picked out from the book. I've just read it from a book and did it in my own way. What I felt was the best way to bring it to our people. And as you can see, there's a gentleman there, a young fella. He's a young man from our country, still going to school, been through the law. And in our culture, we're not really meant to be, mixing in with women, young girls and young men. But I was just letting them know that we can live two ways in life. We can do this. We can be out here in front of everyone, be very close and touching towards each other, without feeling bad, and still go back to our country and not worry, and go back to the way how we don't go close to them. We go our own separate ways and stuff like that. And also doing things together, because that just brings them out more. And as you can see, they was having a bit of fun, and it's actually the first time the young girls have actually got close with another male, or as me growing up with them, or I've seen them grow up since babies, actually getting close. And as you can see is how they're putting the paper on me, they're a bit scared. But then as time went by, because it was timed, you've got 15 minutes, or about 10 minutes, sorry, to do this full bodysuit. And so within that time, I'm there, come on, it's, you got time, you're timed here, you got to make the suit and everything, and so they just rushing around, getting the sticky tape and, and doing things. And then they just forgot for a second there about what was actually going on, sort of thing. So then there was that teamwork and doing things together, and then that's where I'll come back to explaining all the stuff, how we can live the two lives. And I'm showing it for people to, for our people also, that we can do it. What happened next was I was running more lessons, and the teacher realised that I was doing what I was doing, that it engaged the students, and something she struggled with. So after that, I would step in and take over the role of leading the teaching and learning in the class. Looking back on these experiences and talks with Vanessa Houltby, I started to share what was working and why. First is the space. You have to pick a space that creates the feeling and comfort, being able to share and connect. I would walk around the room, see what they had written in their exercise books, and I just remember what they've written and just walk around, pretend and just walk around, going around the room. And so then I'd share it when I get to another side of the room. So that way they didn't think it was their work that I was reading it from, and not making them ashamed to put this big wall up and think, oh, shame job, no, I'm not going to, show that person, sort of thing like that. So those were just ways where I was working to try and make sure they stayed not being shame and, getting things out, sort of thing. So also I'd look at the mood of the group, just the body language or stuff like that. Is it the right time to talk about things, personal things, very deep inside themselves, because out there we don't really get the chances to talk about a lot of the stuff that comes from within. A lot of times they don't know. So this is my chance to actually try and, it's actually worked, and they've, there's a lot of things. Sorry, I'll get back to the story. So yeah, not too much talk when we're doing the activities or anything, because too many words can lose their concentration. It needs to be short so it's understood and easier for them. Well, this is from the communities where I come from. I noticed one day we was walking to the bus and there was no pulling hair, no bullying, no teasing, no getting the football and just giving it a good kick and hitting the girls or something like that. You know, and there was just something different. It was calm. It was just something that was, you know, that sort of you can't explain unless you was there to see it yourself. We got to the bus and went to the football oval in Yalara. The young fellas go to their normal routine playing football and the girls go and play softball. And out there, fellas don't play softball because that's a girls' game. The fellas play the football. I heard one of the young fellas say, "Oh, let's go and have a game, you know, with the girls." And so I didn't say anything to him. I started walking off. So I didn't play football. I walked over to the girls and I started playing softball. And so I seen the young fellas, they sat down. All of a sudden, they wasn't playing football. They started sitting down and just watching me. And then I noticed they was coming over and they said, "Come on, let's go," you know. And I said, "Well, come on, you mob, let's go. Come on, get in here. Don't get shame." And in our language, we say, "Gundarin Jawiya." Don't get shame. So slowly they came over, all the girls and all the boys ended up mixing up, you know. It was one really good, amazing feeling for me to see that they was all together having a laugh. The fellas, they didn't know how to, like, well, their good hand was to throw the ball with their right hand, but because they didn't know that you had to wear the glove on the left hand, they'd put it on the right so they could catch the ball, and then they're like, "Oh, couldn't throw it," you know, so they'd like chuck the glove and quickly like that, and then they'd give it to it, you know. So, and the girls was having a good laugh, you know, and so they started mingling in and it was going really good. And then like a lot of the Pirinba people, means white fellas, they came out from, there's a big library that's right next to the football oval, and they all just started coming out and just watching us have this game, you know, and just over time, we could have been there all day. And it was fun, but they don't do that in the community, you know. So there's already the two ways of how we can live. Another story where Mind Matters is making a difference and showing me how I can go about all the different ways and health, emotions, respect, thinking, and their hopes. Well, when I've done an activity and it's got like a circle and they put hope in the middle, and I asked them and I had to explain hopes, what it was, and one of the young girls said, "Well, my hope is to learn more. I hope to learn more." And so that was a shock to me. So that was that. So we're coming to the part where we're finishing this part of the journey, and I'll let Yarichi come back in.
Thank you, Thomas.
Sorry.
We've only got about 40 seconds to go, and it's been really challenging squeezing everything into 20 minutes. But in terms of where we're moving forward to, we've actually got an advisory group now of Anangu from both South Australia and Northern Territory that have come together and are making decisions about whole school approaches. So using the Mind Matters framework as a base for that and unpacking that Anangu way. We're working with the health clinics to promote the materials, the general store clinics to pull up the kids' wellbeing work, and community coming out and engaging. And Thomas is talking to me about how he wants to take this journey deeper into families and homes, and he's shared with me how he's been taking it to Alice Springs and it's been going up to Tea Tree, and we've been getting phone calls from Hermannsburg. So that's the end of our story today. But to finish, Napachi Napachi, together together, is the motto of this work, and we invite you to share that with us. Napachi Napachi.
Ngaparji ngaparji.
Palia.
Palia.